Welcome to the first vlog of this channel. I want to start doing this weekly so you guys can just see what goes on behind the scenes and exactly what I do every single day. Right now it's currently 9 p.m. so this is going to be a nighttime vlog. You guys are going to see what I'm going to do tonight. I'm having a lesson with my students in about 5 minutes. You guys are going to be there for that. And then we're going to take a drive in my car. You guys are going to hear the whip. You guys are going to hear my story. But I just want to show you guys just a raw reality. And I thought I would bring you guys along and just start doing this more and more. So we did enter a little bit late. 1, 2. Honestly, it's not bad. Based off that cell, I mean, you were seeing the, I'm honestly impressed. Perfect. Comes to around 50% of that candle. It's usually like the general rule for a pullback. And then, all right, so I just finished the lesson. I do those weekly for the live trading students in there just to make sure everyone's good to go. They know the strategy and all that fun stuff. So now I want to show you guys the car. We'll get a POV and then I'll just tell you guys my story. If I'm gonna tell you guys my story, you know, I wasn't one of those people that just got brought into money or anything like that. I didn't always have money. It's not a trust fund. None of that. What got me here was just hard work. And I know you guys probably hear that a lot, but I used to mow lawns. And the way that I started lawn mowing was one summer when I was 13 years old. I got an allowance from my dad. It was like $10 a week to mow his grass. And I had the bright idea of going door to door after that and trying to mow other people's lawn in exchange to use his equipment if I just mowed his grass for free. So I started going door to door and asking for people to mow their lawn. Some benefits of that is I looked like a kid. I was a kid, and they saw just a hustler in front of them at the age of 13 years old, 14 years old. So I thought that I'd be able to get a little bit more clients. I didn't get anyone. I was knocking forever until like the last one. It was late at night and I was already supposed to come home, but it was a corner lot and this guy had a huge lawn. Mind you, I have a push mower still. So this guy had a huge lawn and I asked him, yo, do you need anyone to mow your lawn for this upcoming season? He was like, I just had these kids come up to my house a couple days ago. I hired them, but if you're cheaper, I'll go with you instead. I was like, all right, bet. I was like, how much do they charge you? He wouldn't tell me. He was like, no, you gotta tell me your price. So I was like, okay. And I told him $25. Mind you, this house was huge. So it was like, the lawn was huge. It was like a corner lot. And I charged him $25. He was like, wow. I was like, so he was like, you're hired. And I was like, okay, how much were they charging you? He was like, well, you can't back out if I tell you how much they were charging me. And I was like, no, I'm not gonna back out. So then I said, he said $40. And I was like, oh, damn. But I was fine with it because that led me to something even greater, which was another client. So I started doing good with his lawn. He was giving me $25. I was just happy to have a client. And then he referred me to his friend across the neighborhood. So I was able to charge him full price, which is like $40, which is still cheap for these lawns. And I had to push the mower with the weed whacker, with the blower, with the extra fuel, all the way over to the other side of the neighborhood. But I was grinding. I didn't really care. And now I have these 2 lawns to my name, making around like $65 a week. And then I also had to mow my dad's lawn for free to use his equipment. Next thing you know, that guy, when I was doing his lawn, the neighbors noticed. They saw that I was young. They saw that I was hustling. And they were like, yo, how much do you charge? So I walked around their neighborhood. I walked around their lawn and gave them an estimate. I felt like the shit. I felt like I was him. You know, and I was like, $40. And I was just charging people $40. But that client gave me like 4 houses next to him because of how good of a job I did. The word of mouth was so nice, especially how young I was. It was perfect. So the moral of the story right there is like, who cares what you gotta do to get the first client? Get your foot in the door. Once your foot's in the door and you actually start doing a good job, then the clients that see you doing a good of a job will bring you other clients, and other people, potential clients, will notice how well of a job you're doing, and then they'll want to work with you. Number one, you have to do a good job. Number two, you cannot be picky when you're first starting out with anything. Because if I turned him down because I was only getting $25 for that lawn, I would never been exposed to the other lawns that I potentially could have got. I got his friend, I got his neighbors around that friend, and then after that, we're good to go. Then people just started driving by, asking me how much. I would, walk over to the property, give them an estimate, boom, $40 like that. Next thing you know, I'm servicing like 25 lawns a week. Now, sometimes it is bi-weekly depending on the growth of the grass in the beginning and the end of the lawn season, but I was getting paid. Now, the other thing is, it was during the summer as well, so a lot of kids will not be waking up at 7 o'clock in the morning to start mowing grass. Yes, I was the person you guys hear mowing grass at 7 a.m., but the reason being is because I had to fit like 4 lawns with a push mower. I'm edging your lawn, I'm weed whacking your lawn and everything. So I had to fit it in before like 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, before it got too hot. And that was the only thing that sucked about it, is I was literally dying out there. It was so brutal. So I had to wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning during summer to mow these lawns. It was bad. It was bad. But I was young. I was determined. I didn't care. And from there, I was literally making like 10K a month, almost like 5 to 10K a month from lawn mowing, bro. I had a lot of clients, and I started upgrading my equipment a little bit, got a new weed whacker, still the same push mower. Just because the push mower, I had to be careful because a lot of people had backyards with fences, so I could only fit less than like 3 feet worth of lawnmower, and I couldn't get a zero turn or anything like that, but that's what I was working with, and I had to walk it because I was so young. But after that, so I started reselling shoes a little bit. I got a drop shipping store and I started selling rings. I didn't make too much money off of it, but it just taught me just more stuff about business and just running an online store. I have a screenshot from 2017 of me trading Apple for the first time. I was trading stock and it was a demo account, but that was the first official screenshot of me trading in 2017. And I was just dabbling in it. I always loved trading, the numbers and everything. I think that's the reason why I got this far, was because I don't care about the money, I don't care about the outcome. All I care about is trading. I just love the trade. Even if trading made me $0, I literally look at it like my video game. It sounds nerdy as hell, but I never played video games when I was younger. That stuff just amazes me, like number stuff. Trading, just seeing the charts, just knowing that there's a company behind it, that is what gets me going. So I think that's the reason why I progressed so much, because I didn't care about the outcome, nor do I still care about the outcome, and I just love to trade. So I started doing that, and I started trading equity, and I was paper trading for a little bit, and then I just started trading like $20 here. I'd make like $20 here, I'd make $5 there, $10 there, and stuff like that. I wouldn't make anything crazy, right? All I care about is just trading. And then I started to develop a strategy. So it was pre-market gappers, and I would trade the open range break of the first 5 minutes of the day. So basically I would see what pre-market stocks were moving crazy in the beginning of the day, like 300% pre-market, and then I wait 5 minutes after it opened. I would mark out the high and the low, and then I would take a breakout above or below whatever level that is. And it worked, but the problem was me. The problem was the mindset. The problem was how I actually executed these trades. My stop loss / risk management was my weakest point. I was consistent and it was working out for me. The only problem was risk management. I could not sell on my stop loss. My stop loss sucked. I could not sell on my stop loss at all. When it hits my stop loss, I just keep holding. I'll sometimes average down, or I'll sell it and then get in the opposite direction. Then it goes back in the direction that would make me profits, and then I would get back in that direction, and then I would get stopped out 3 times in a row. And I'm like, this is insane. This is rigged. Another thing I used to do was I would hold the stock until end of day, and it only got worse when I got introduced to options. So I got introduced to options with the same exact like stop loss problem, and my risk management still sucked, and I started dabbling it into options. Now I kind of had to switch the strategy a little bit. I was still trading open range breaks, but I had to pick different stocks to trade. So I would trade like Tesla, Nvidia, Amazon, Google before it split. Amazon was like $2,500 a share, and contracts were super nice, but I started trading contracts. Now by this time I have never blown an account, or I think I almost blew an account. I think I was like halfway through an account, but I never blew an account with equity trading. I've been close, but when I got introduced to options, I blew my first account because options can literally go to 0 same day. The other thing is I didn't fully understand options. I thought that it had to get to that certain strike price in order for me to sell. So I just didn't understand what options were entirely, which led to my first account being blown. I had $2,500 in that account. So then I load up another $2,500 in that account, and I start trading options. And at this time, again, I'm super consistent. I'm building this thing up. I could flip that account. I flipped it to like 2,500 to like 4,000, and I messed up because I held full position size, and I think at the time it was like half of my account, so my position size was like $1,500, $2,000, something like that, and I held that thing until the end of day, which turns these contracts to negative 99%. I remember selling it for $1 a contract. Those contracts got wiped. And I just remember looking at that. I'm like, this is it. Like, you know, I don't like this. I can't stick to my stop loss. I'm just not meant for trading. Like I can't trade. You know, there's people out there that, like, they're just born with the ability to manage risk, or they can handle their emotions better. Like, I'm too emotional for trading. I really thought that. I thought that like, me as a person was not able to take a trade and be profitable because of that emotional thing. So then I'm like, all right, lock in, blew this account, lock in, and this is my last go. I switched my mindset from thinking about the outcome, thinking about making money and trying to recover my losses, to, okay, I am thinking I'm going to lose on every single trade, and I want to just manage the downside, just manage my loss. If I only think about my loss and managing that loss and nothing else, I think I have a good shot of conquering my problem. When I did that, and all I thought about was my stop loss and managing risk, somehow the profits just came to me. Managing that stop loss so well, still having a very nice win rate, and letting the trade just go to a 1 to 2, 1 to 3 risk reward, and that's when I sold. My profits literally were just compounding. It was insane because all I would think about is my risk. All I would think about is losing a trade, How am I gonna manage it? And that's it. I wouldn't think about the winner. I wouldn't think about the outcome besides the stop loss, besides the risk management. And when I tell you, that was a huge flip, and I realized that trading is not about the strategy whatsoever, and it's all about how you think about the trades and your mindset. It like unlocked a different level of trading, because a lot of people are like, oh, what are the best strategy out there? What is RCT? Like, yes, the way that I trade is the best way possible, nicest risk to reward, best win rate, and you don't have to be in a trade for that long. Like I'm done my trade in 3 minutes. But that's besides the point. It's all about mindset. I can be profitable with any strategy out there. The problem is mindset. You have to have a profitable mindset. A lot of people don't have a profitable mindset, and they don't emphasize it enough. The reason why I'm profitable is 80% mindset, 20% just strategy. You have to think like a profitable trader. You have to know that the outcome means nothing, and it's all about probabilities. It's a probability game. Managing your risk, keeping your losses small, letting your winners compound. 1 to 3 risk to reward, 1 to 2 risk to reward. Just really dialing in on that, sticking to your plan, and not letting your emotions get in the way. If I get in a position and I get stopped out, and then it goes immediately right after, a lot of people get emotional and they'll re-enter. I don't care what the trade does after I sell. I sold for a reason, and that's it. And you have to think like that. But that's the thing. It's all about mindset. That's the reason why you're not profitable. That's the reason why you can be profitable if you have the right mindset. That's it. That's all you need. Nothing else out there, right? You don't need this whole thing to tell you that. It's mindset. Learn how to become a profitable trader with a profitable mindset. It's all you need. But that's what I had to learn the hard way, and hopefully you guys probably aren't gonna, you guys are gonna take this video in, but it's gonna go out your ears, because you guys are like, okay, well, now what? It's like, exactly, you have to learn how to have a profitable mindset. That's your next step. That's what allowed me to become a profitable trader. But hopefully you guys can hear that a little bit. If you have a problem, I promise you I have a solution to that. And it's just a mindset tweak. Oh, I can't sell because I sell too quick on my profits. It's because you don't want to be wrong so bad that you're selling too early. If you just wait, because I sell based off price action, but you're not going to be able to because of your mindset. So if we train your brain to extend that profit taking by only selling at a 1 to 2 risk to reward or 1 to 3 risk to reward, that will train your brain to hold longer, and then we can start working on selling based off price action. So there's like tweaks that I've learned to help other people learn that as well, because I reflected on my own trading. Let's get a little rip. It's not always good to take a drive. Like, even without you guys, sometimes I just take a drive and I just think, man, like, I love being by myself sometimes, just because I can just reflect. Like, what am I doing as a person right now? Am I reaching my goals? Am I meeting expectations of myself? Like, it's just nice. What are the next steps, right? You're planning ahead, and you can't do that with a cluttered mind. So it's always nice just to get out of your environment, take a drive, go somewhere, isolate yourself, and just you and your thoughts. It's always nice. Yo, I don't know if you guys have tattoos or not, but you guys ever get your tattoo to start like itching after months of getting it? Like, literally, I had this tattoo for a year now, and it's starting to like raise up a little bit and is like itching like crazy recently, but then it goes away in like a day. It's so weird, but I've had that happen recently more. I don't know if it's because like what I'm eating or anything, but it's like crazy. It's literally coming up. Like I feel like it's a sticker on me now.